some ridiculous thing has happened, and it's just the worst thing that's ever happened. Yeah. This is the most racist time. No, it's not. 80 years ago, people were shoveling other people into ovens. Every Saturday, there was something going on. And it's funny, just a little, my next door neighbor has got, his oldest boy went up to university last year and came up to Durham to have a look around the place, have a look around the uni. And they had all of the stalls out, all of the, hang gliding club, the paragliding club, the politics club, the debating, and all of this. And he was at the Students' Union stall along with his son. And he said to the Students' Union rep, he said, my day at university, he said, we took a lot of views and we had issues that we wanted to bring up at meetings and debate and what have you. And he said, what's the big issues at the minute facing this university, facing the Students' Union? And the girl said, she said, at the minute, the tumble dryers. You put in a pound and they only give you 10 minutes. And we've been trying to get that changed for 2 years now, so they give you, And Paul said, he just thought, whatever happened to that fire, young people? Whatever happened to that fire? We're going to be out in the street next weekend to protest about what's happening in Iran or whatever,
Yeah, well, it's
anymore.
Yeah. To sort of riff off that point you said about, I mean, I'm definitely noticing it. Obviously, obviously you and I, we're not the same age, and it's interesting because you say there was all these there were protests going on sort of each weekend for you, and there isn't the likes of that going on. I mean, I've got to say, I'm sat here in one of the richest countries that has ever been, in the most technologically advanced time that has ever been. I've got my phone here that has a greater quality camera in it than the family camera had that we spent loads of money on 15 years ago. And I've got all of it, I'm talking to you via a computer that didn't even exist 5 years ago, and it's affordable now. There is literally so much is so good for, and that's for me sort of, in my position, but even, in the lowest ends, people are still employed in the lowest ends. Things are still much better than they ever have been. And,
of course,
And what I see, sort of to your point, is a lot of people of my age that really don't seem to get that. There's this sort of, and I appreciate that, you're young, you want to change the world. That is the point of youth, is that you've got the energy and you've got the drive to get out and make the difference that you crave in the world. And, I mean, I heard it used as a sort of an example, but, the sort of Woodstock and the hippie movement back in like the 60s, they were protesting, big social inequalities and injustices. There were big key issues that were being protested. And, things are so much better now in pretty much every way. They're not perfect, and I'm not saying they're perfect.
No. They're never going to be perfect.
Exactly, they're never going to be perfect. Does that mean we should stop striving for it? No, but it's very, what I'm seeing is this sort of people, and pretty much anyone who is posting a tweet about injustices, they are already coming from a very privileged background, relatively, in comparison to the whole world. And we seem to be losing sight of this. Yes, there are problems in the world, but like this idea that everything is as bad as it has ever been, and we should completely tear it all down, and that the only way forward, everything that we have now is a result of exploitation and evil, and therefore we should feel we should this like self-flagellation that's going on. Everyone going, we should be so guilty about everything that we have, and we are absolutely privileged and blessed to be in the position we are. So rather than losing sight of all of the good that we have, why don't we go, well, we are now, society was here at one point, it's now here. Or you could say it's now here, if you don't want to say it's progressed. But we are now in this new place. So where's the idea of we're all in it together and we've all got a common goal, which is the betterment of the world of society? I'm sure that must have been sort of thread tying you all together when you were attending the marches You know, everyone was there because there was the common goal. It is that, you know, there is an obvious enemy, and, you know, we want this new system, and these are our reasons, and everyone's sort of in it together. Perhaps I'm oversimplifying there.
No, you're quite right. See, the difference. Whenever I was young, when I was at school, I saw with my own eyes abject poverty. I saw children coming to school with what are now called, you know, those little, they're called jelly sandals. They're little sort of plastic
Oh yeah, you can get
sandals, you know, pink and
stickers on
blue
them.
and green and all the rest of it.
Hmm.
Well, I can, you know, kids wear them on the beach now or in the summer or whatever. I can remember kids coming to school in the middle of winter with those, because they didn't have anything else. They came from very poor families, and they used to get, you know, 'cause kids can be so cruel. All the kids would say, "Oh, look at the shoes that you're wearing," you know, and you know, you tease them and say, "Have you not got another pair of shoes?" No. There was abject poverty. You could see it. You could see, you know, kids who got free school meals, and there's something that's been in the news, you know, this week.
Yeah.
You know, there was a lot of abject poverty around, and you could see it. You could see, I look back now at old photographs of my town, and it's unbelievable when you see the slums that people lived in. You think, I thought that was normal growing up.
Mm.
You know, I thought that was just a normal way to be.
Mm.
And we wanted to change that. And that's because we had seen that abject poverty. The problem is now, I think a lot of younger people, I don't want this to sound sort of, you know, like I'm sort of standing up here preaching about younger people, but they don't actually see, you know, some ridiculous thing has happened and it's just the worst thing that's ever happened.
Yeah.
This is the most racist time. No, it's not. 80 years ago, people were shoveling other people into ovens, you know, into gas chambers and ovens.
Mm.
You know, this is the most violent time there's ever been. Well, I'm sorry, you know, 80 years ago, another state was flying over and dropping bombs on top of people in cities here.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's not the worst time. Yeah, you're quite right. We live in Western Europe. We're wealthy, relatively compared to most of the world.
Yeah.
We're wealthy. Most people have 3 good meals a day. And whilst, you know, there is still poverty around, but it's a lot less. It's not the norm as it was when I was a kid.
And I
So
find
you're quite right. I think they've lost sight of what life could be like for them. And everything now is sort of easier to get, easier to have.
Yeah, it's interesting because it becomes